with us National Award-winning, much acclaimed director, producer, writer, editor, and whatnot, Rima Das, whom the rest of India knows best for her Village Rock Stars. Right now, she's getting rave reviews for her latest film, Tora's Husband. Congratulations for your latest film, and thanks for talking to the Tribune.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.
So tell me a little about Tora's Husband. I believe it is around the subject of pandemic. And, during that period, all of us were thinking a lot. But what was the trigger for your film?
I also wanted to contribute my way. And I was stuck in Mumbai for 3 months. And then when I was back home, Assam, then I didn't know. I just wanted to contribute. I just wanted to create something. That's how it started. And because it was, that time, lot of news, social media, then I was wondering, like, what would be the story? So it took a while to understand and process it. And although this film is shot in real COVID background and condition, but it is, for me, it's more of a relationship, friendship, love, and a lot of other things. And there is the main protagonist in the film. He says that we think that world is one, but it's not true. We all have our own different world. So I think, like, Tura's husband is that, like, you will see husband and wife, two kids, how during COVID, how their world is completely different. And also you will see other characters, how their world is different. Yes.
I said you're talking of love, relationships, friendships, all of
Yeah.
which came under a lot of duress, came under a lot of stress during the
Yes.
pandemic, right?
A lot of stress. There's a lot of stress. And still I'm not able to, come out of it, because I mean, my mother, she keep telling me later also that looking at my, stress level, she's always like, you could have make another 4 films. She was
That,
so upset. I mean, like, she saw my, physical, mental condition. I suddenly I think last year only, I had a frozen shoulder. Suddenly, I not able to move my hand. So I think mostly there was stress. Everyone knows how difficult the time was, and but losing my father just after we started shooting, I think that was I mean, after that, I somehow, I think, I didn't give time to myself. And somewhere, and also my main protagonist, are Tura's husband protagonist, he is my own brother. So
coming to that, yes,
yeah,
yes.
so that's the reason he was suffering differently. I was more expressive, I feel like. I remember, was become aggressive also. So it was a lot. And being a producer myself, to handle the crew, cast, there were another lockdown, then to maintain the consistency. And every time there were, I mean, different, every time after lockdown, it was different. So story was also evolving differently. And being non-actors, for them also, it was really difficult, challenging, for especially for our main protagonist, because he didn't know that it would go so long, like it took me almost 2.5 years. and he didn't expect that. Only when he realized what I was doing and he was giving me sometimes 40, 50 retakes, only he realized when film was screened at Toronto International Film Festival. He was there when audience came to him and they were praising. Then he realized. Then he was telling me, "I could have do that differently. I could have do that better." But it's a journey. I will never forget this journey, and I have learned what I don't need to do also with this film.
You often work with non-actors, but in this case, your own brother and your sister-in-law as well.
Yes, yes. It was just
So
after lockdown, first lockdown, so I just started with my family and neighbors. But later on, like surprisingly, you can see like many people they got involved. Yes.
uh, but what do non-actors bring to the table?
Non-actor, first time.
Okay, I get that.
When I'm making a film like for 2 years, I already know, different subject. And I also worked with professional actors. Recently, I worked in like an anthology. So I did one part. It's a film in Melbourne. So I got only 4 days, 5 days, I think, to shoot. So I was again doing with professional actors. Another anthology is a Mumbai production house. So I got only 5 days. So when I'm working with like collaborating with a producer, then I know that I need to follow certain protocol and I need to deliver. There is a budget. But when I am doing something from Flying River Films, that's our production's name, then I know that I'm going to take time, and then non-actors helps a lot. And it is not only the reason, but I like that they are natural, I they listen to me. It's not that professional actors they don't listen, but I mean, like, I can push them differently.
They're like more like clay. You can mold them whichever way
Yes,
you want.
yes, right. That's true. Yes, that's true. That
But,
is one advantage. But when it
but
is a highly like emotional scene, then that is always a challenging time, because because a professional actor easily can cry, get angry, but with a non-actor is a bit difficult. Then I really need to, I mean, need to talk to them, and
uh,
a different kind of bonding it needs.
but with family, I mean, directing your own brother. I don't know whether he's elder to you or younger to you.
Is younger to me.
Okay, so I mean,
Yeah.
like, but family can be very, can be very annoying as well.
आई मीन फर्स्ट हमारे जो हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना, घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर,
Okay.
exactly that happened. Okay, he will like he was asking me so many questions why I need to do, I mean, like, I'm the director, just do it. He's like, I need to give him reasons why he needs to cry, why he needs to do it. It was like that. And if 6 a.m., I mean, call time, she just, I have to, wake him up. He'll get ready. I mean, 2 hours later, he'll disappear. He just, it was only because only because I knew, he surprised me how good he is as an actor. That's the reason I continued the film. That is that was the only reason. Otherwise, many times I thought to stop filming.
So, do you intend to cast him again?
He is ready for part two, but I'm not giving him words. Not now. I said, I need a break from you. But he is wonderful. As a human being, he's wonderful. I also learned a lot, being my own brother, because my story evolved with time. I keep writing, also shooting. So to understand a man, he helped me a lot because he's my brother, but I came to know surprisingly lot of new things. Now his film is released in Assam, and all most of the like male viewers, they are like, how you understand a man so well, I mean,
Yeah.
being a female, mostly we like they are saying they are is there, yeah, they are saying that mostly, it's more woman centric. It's like always like
Yeah.
showing
Feminist,
that
feminist
yeah,
flag.
that's right. So I think because he's my brother, I I tried to understand him. So other also men. It's not. It's like people ask me. It's all about him. I say that no, it's not all about him. It is probably 10 different men together. And my imagination also, reality observation, different man, even my father, how I saw my father, my other brother. So it's like that, but it's an interesting journey, and constantly I was learning. Yes.
So he kind of opened the man's world for you as well. You know?
Yes, I think so, because
Oh,
it is not only him, no? The other caste, male caste, there are a lot of like the friends and neighbors. So because it is from my production house, I work very differently. Sometimes I'm doing just two scenes, one scene. I take time. If I'm not happy, then probably one scene I'm doing sometimes 3 days, or maybe if I'm shooting something today, the same scene I'm shooting after 6 months. There are scenes in the film, half part probably 1 year before and half part 1 year later.
so how do you gel it all together? Is that
It's
not
very,
difficult?
it is difficult. It is difficult. But because with the constant change, because there was a time I was thinking that, is everything going to be normal? You know,
All right.
so that also came to my mind. But when it became normal, then my even thoughts started changing again. So yeah, I think so. I got a lot of time to understand, observe and understand. Yes.
You were talking that you had a frozen shoulder, and sometimes your stress levels are very high. Is it also because you're almost like a one woman army, and you take on a lot on yourself, doing so many things? You're a
Right.
cinematographer, you're editing, you're directing, writing, producing. Do you think there's too much on your platter?
Lot. Yeah. I am glad that I can do that, but it was too much on the platter. And this is was earlier films, mostly, with nature, mostly in the rural area. But this film was shooting on the road, and everything is a real, it's a real location. I mean, it's not nothing is it is not a set, not no studio. So it was very difficult to manage people, and it was really difficult. It was very difficult. So I was more like a like how journalists do their job, I mean,
I know.
like that, if it is a anywhere, like if when we are shooting in the restaurant, also restaurant was not shut down, so people are coming. So it was a lot of patience and hard work, I think. Lot of patience and hard work. Yes.
So you spoke about how the movie opened at Toronto International Film Festival, and you're almost a regular at TIFF. How are the audiences in at TIFF different from audiences first of all at film festivals in India and general cinegoers as well?
With this film, I'm not seeing much difference, surprisingly, and with other films also. Only difference because when I made Village Rockstar, that time I was quite sure that this film is for International Film Festival. Okay, that was in my mind because there was no background score. It's a lot of silence is was there. So I was, but when first screening was in Mumbai Film Festival after Toronto, and it was really good. And then slowly, like, it traveled to other festivals in India. Then surprisingly, when uh, I mean, it was released in theaters, I saw that even many people, they loved. So I think it is only difference I see with Tora's husband or either my other films. I see in Assam, because other people here in India, outside Assam or out of India, international audience, they are watching the film with subtitles. But when in Assam, I see that reaction is, different. They get all little nuances. So they are enjoying the film more. I see that. They get also emotional more. They can connect with, because it, it's they are, they know, like, the lifestyle and culture, they, if it is in a restaurant or how they talk, so they gets it. Only thing is, like, because certain words, because my humor is also quite subtle, you know certain words in Assamese particularly, if you are saying, we laugh, but English, I cannot translate that. So in this film also, there are a lot of little things are there, words are there, which Assamese audience gets quite easily, you know so when just the last week we had a premiere, I was really, the whole, like, the audience in the theater, they were just laughing, enjoying, giggling. So that is the only difference I see with audience out of Assam. Yes.
But we've been saying this for a long time that language is no bar today, and how local has become universal. Do you agree with that?
No, I do agree. I do agree. But I'm saying little, it's
Yeah,
not that,
I,
yes. It is, I mean, the difference is probably they are getting more extra 15%, which,
okay, right.
yeah, that is the only difference. It's not that, it's like, it's not a big gap.
But you were saying that when you made when you made Village Rockstars, you were sure that it is going to go to a film festival. Do you think the line between what is a festival film and what is a mainstream film is
Yes.
uh, is well drawn, or do you think that's blurring today?
I think it's blurring, and I think especially it's not the audience, because they don't get opportunity to watch this kind of cinema more. Even myself, I grew up watching more whatever available, like, in television, Saturday films or Sunday films. So we grew up watching Bollywood films. So now when I see that with OTT and other platforms slowly, they are able to getting opportunity to watch this kind of movies, but it is not audience. I'm not saying generally, you know, I mean, like there are still, like actually that taste also is not developed, but definitely we see a new kind of audience rising now. That is a good sign. It's really nice. But when I was traveling, especially with village auxes and Bulbul Can Sing, what I can see in, like, I travel to many children and youth film festival. So I saw little, like 4 years, 5 years, 7, 10 years kids coming to theater, full house, and they were asking me questions and all the right questions. So, and during the time of festival, they are not only showing films, made by like filmmakers, which films are traveling to festivals, but they are giving them a platform. I saw how kids are roaming around outside, you know, like shooting their films. So, uh, so that taste is developed from childhood. That is not here. We don't have that kind of film appreciation. It is just, we know it is also very limited, and they don't know. They are just watching. I mean, mostly,
Bollywood.
what? Yes. So I'm not against Bollywood films, but I think like there should be a balance, because if I am watching a film from Europe or Iran or Korea, so mostly we see, I mean, Iran there, in their films. It's a reflection of their life, and I mean, their culture and lifestyle. And especially still now people call me like independent filmmaker and lot other art house, or I mean, but trying to make movies mostly reflecting the real India. So there should be a balance, so that when, because now it's a global, we are, the way it is, the access is so easy now, and every year Indian films are traveling to lot of different film festivals, so we need to take it seriously, I think. And if we start doing it now, then probably in 10 years we can see the change. But just talking, oh, commercial films, blockbuster films, how challenging for you as an independent filmmaker, I think it's not going to solve any, you know, problems. We need to create uh, like environment and platform, so that they can develop taste in the very beginning, early in their life. And definitely they will see these films. Why not? I mean, you
But
know,
then does it bother you? You get rave reviews, but they do not translate into theatrical outings.
yeah, it
I
does. It does, because if my film is there in the theater and if I am getting bad reviews, then probably it's not going to bother me. But when I see, good positive response, even in Assam also, it's a delighted to see, it's very good. They are saying that they are liking this film more than my earlier film, because probably this is a mature film, and it's more like a modern family drama, and they can relate with the characters. They like my earlier films, but here they can relate, but I think like after that, if the flow, is not that good, so I feel bad, definitely. And we cannot
uh,
promote that way. We have that kind of limitation, we cannot market and promote our films, like we don't have that kind of budget. So we need brave producers to back up us and this kind of films, if they believe, that as a society as a whole, if they think like this kind of films, help building a society in 10 years, like how we see.
But
So that
but
matters.
in India we have this, we have this misconception that all festival films are, kind of boring films. And so how can we dispel this notion?
Only thing is showing children from the beginning this kind of cinema. If I tell when I my mother is here with me in Mumbai or she's traveling, she doesn't like pasta, you know. She even doesn't enjoy burgers. Now look at our kids, like they are eating pizza, burger, pasta, right? So it's that simple. I look at it quite, it is very simple way. Just develop the taste from their early days. Definitely they are not going to say these films are boring. And it is not with a film, with a good song. It can be with a good book, you know. And even I see our children now at home, they are not reading the way we used to read, story books. They don't, all the time they are looking at them, looking at their phones. So we need to, give them that kind of environment, keep them busy doing certain activities. I think that is how we can save it. Yes.
CEO Village Rockstars went for, it was India's official entry for Oscars. But Oscar for Best Film continues to elude us. Why do you think so?
Sorry, I didn't get
I
you.
said why I said Oscar for Best Film still continues to elude us. Why do you think we can't get it?
Because it's too late for us to promote our films. If you look at Parasite, if you look at Roma, once they are big studios, once they are in a big festival, so they start their promotion, because they are sure that they are going to get entry, most of the films. But here in India, like I think towards the end of September, we come to know. Then we need to, plan, you know, budget, campaign. We look for like agents there who are going to do our PR. So by the time we go to LA for campaign and all is quite late. I think we get only a month, because I remember honestly, like we really got good response with Village Rockstars. Even they were writing, articles were out. And if you see Rotten Tomatoes also, Village Rockstars, there are a lot of good reviews and articles, but we're too late, because mostly like they are voters, they need to
Right.
watch our film. And by the time that, like Oscar campaign, they already saw Roma, big films, they already saw it. I mean, and we need to arrange screening there to bring people, voters. And it's not possible because the, they, like less people come, because there are that time a lot of screenings going on. I remember when Village Roxas was there, 81 around films are contesting.
Right.
So it is hard, it is hard. So I believe, like, if my film is in Toronto, for example, last year September my film was in Toronto, and if I believe and I know that okay, this film probably going to be a Oscar contender or somehow like that, so we need to work
Right
that
there.
right there. Yeah, right there. That is how they do it, you know. And you also
But
need a lot of money.
but
For
are you
actually.
are you happy with this year? this year's selection of a Indian entry. It's a Malayalam film, 2018, and whether you've seen it.
I have not seen it probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I'm always happy because every time different jury, you know, and it is their choice. You can't help it. And it is always when I am myself watching a film, then I also travel that jury. So I see that we have our, you know, own, I mean, individual choice. And so here you cannot control it.
As a member of the jury, you are on the jury of various prestigious film festivals. What exactly are you looking for in the film?
We look at the story, we look at the craft, the treatment. I more than for me, treatment is more important. How also is I mean aesthetic, cinematic aesthetics. So story can be anything, but the treatment is for me is important. How they are creating something differently and their own distinctive style. So I see all these things, and the filmmakers' efforts also sometimes I see, what's happening behind the film. That also I can see. Yes.
You often say that you prefer realistic cinema. Authenticity is almost your hallmark. But do you think make believe is also an essential part of cinema? I mean, like escapism.
Yeah, of course, of course. I love all kind of genres. I mean, I don't have such restriction. I am realistic. I mean, because I am choosing those stories, but tomorrow or later, probably if I choose a different story, you know, then might be my style will be different, my treatment will be different. Till now, my stories are, like that. So it needs, I think, realistic approach. But if
I,
I from my imagination, it will be if I make a tomorrow horror film, it will be different.
will you?
Might be.
Or a sci-fi maybe,
It should not scare me, but but when I probably, let's see. I mean, I don't want to make same movies. Sometimes I question myself, am I making same kind of films again and again? I also question myself. That is also boring for me. I need also different challenges, and it's such a visual, powerful, you know, power. Like when I was shooting in Melbourne, then they were providing me, okay, this location, that location, and the cinematographer was so good. Then I could do, crossing that limitation and boundaries, what I have when I shoot myself. Sometimes I imagine a scene, but I don't have that kind of resources. And also, I'm not trained that way. I do it what I see and mostly handheld, steady shots. Apart from
Right.
that, I need to learn now. Sometimes it's boring for me, but it was different in Melbourne because
But
he got it. We connected also so well. So I'm looking towards this film. Yes,
you once said that not being trained is a boon. How so?
because I could create. I mean, like liberated to create what I wanted to. I was not restricted. If I don't know that, but it is like my own film school for me. That is the reason also I take time. With every film, I'm constantly learning, and as a person also, I'm transforming. with village officers. It took 3 years. So it's my own film school, you know. So
Learn
that's
every day.
how I think, and I didn't have that kind of fear. I see some my friends, they want to do with big cameras, or I don't have all those inhibitions, I mean limitations. So I always looked at films as just like a painting. I didn't give much importance to technicalities. I'm always following my intuition. I'm always, I mean, shooting what I see at that particular moment, how I feel about the scene and the mood. That's it. I don't have fear to somehow, mm, I mean, like I don't have that kind of pressure to prove that, oh, I'm doing it right. It doesn't bother me. So that's how I think is great.
So we were talking about what next can we expect from you?
So that I'm looking towards that my Melbourne film. I'm also collaborating, doing new project, and also from our own production, Flying River Films, we are making Village Roxas 2.
Oh,
Yes, it's a sequel. Yes.
yes, yes. So, uh, how challenging it is to make a sequel?
The first challenge was uh, always to overcome fear. And and the girl, she's a grown up now, and so I was a bit like worried, like how she would going to perform, because that time they become at that age, like become more conscious. But fortunately, she's doing really well. Yeah, so we are there. I mean, like,
Are you happy? And the story takes, I mean, like, it's truly a sequel, it's not a spiritual
it's
sequel, right?
no, yeah, it's a truly a sequel. Yeah, because when she got the guitar, real guitar, in the last scene, then only it came to my mind, and it traveled for some time. And when I was sure about it, you know, then I started shooting, and then confirmed. So that's how we are almost there.
So
Yes.
we see her becoming a pop star or what?
It's more about life and music, you know, and it's more about her mother also. You will see her mother more, I think, more in the sense, more intense way, and how also like we have many talents in our country, and how like even for parents to understand, and how like it is interesting to see that I mean they also don't know where to go, and how suddenly she's taking different responsibilities in life because she's not privileged. And so there are quite a lot of things again, but it's more, I think, because that time she was a child, and now she's at teenage. So so there are more complexities in this film. Yes,
But how did your parents respond to your talent when they first discovered it?
they discovered it much later, actually. I am coming from a like academic background. My family. I mean, my father, he was a teacher. So my mother, she used to run a printing press, bookstore. So you can imagine. So, uh, but they were always supportive somehow, especially like later when I finished my study. I told them that I want to be an actor and landed up in Mumbai to become an actor. So they were disappointed, but they never said, no, we are not going to support you. It's nothing like that. And suddenly, yeah, suddenly I was home and just, oh, I want to direct now, It was also shock for them. Okay, now you want to be a director. I cleared also NET exam. Okay. So my professors like, are you mad? You don't want to look for a job. So it was a long time, and for them also, I know that they don't that time they didn't know anything about cinema. So it was difficult for me, but still, mother was cooking for the cast and crew.
Uh,
So, and when my first film, or not the second film, Village Roxas was in Toronto. That was a time, it's like a dream comes true. And it started traveling, and my mother is like, but you are not getting any award, you know. What
and
is
then
like
what?
a film festival? So later on, when she was also in Mumbai Film Festival, we won 3 awards. That time she was actually happy. Oh, actually, she is doing something. So for her, winning is everything. From my childhood, I remember taking part in different sports and other debate and other kind of competition. And she's like, it's so for her always matters like winning.
Have you won something? So you on that count, you've done her absolutely proud by now. But
Yeah, I'm
I
glad that my father also saw my success. I'm happy. And yes,
but does success change you as a filmmaker?
I don't know. I really don't know. But now I have more confidence. Although every time, every film quite challenging for me. But when I am like on set, like when I was in Melbourne and with working with Australian crew and cast, I was not nervous. I'm like, I know my job kind of, what to do. And because I work so much in a film when I'm doing it from my production house, it is easier for me when I am working with a professional cast and crew. I see that I'm faster. I can take a decision because I edit my films, so I know, okay, this is working, this is not working. And because when I'm shooting my films, I mostly shoot in with natural lights. So in Assam, it's like 4:30 sunrise. 7 o'clock sun is up. So I get that only like 1 hour window in the morning, and later also evening because its sunset is early, 5 o'clock, or 6, 5 mostly, depending on winter or summer. So I get that magic lights just for like 1 hour, 30 minutes. So in difficult situation also, I realize that I can work fast and take a decision,
But
because it's
since
very
you
difficult if I'm working with a professional crew and if I don't know, because in like Melbourne, I remember we had 5 days and I had to finish because they are quite strict with time. If it is 7 o'clock, just 7 o'clock. So it is, as a filmmaker, I need to take a decision, or I need to know, like, if two scenes left, in the two scenes, which are the shots I need to take at that point, because so that my editor not going to suffer later on, we don't struggle. So this is because of my own film school, and because I shoot a lot. So over the time, like, I think I have learned that. So that's the reason I'm happy. Sorry, I
But
interrupted.
since you edit your own films, you're your own editor, and you, as you said, you are, we can easily call it Rima Das Film School. Do you take more footage or less footage because you know what is actually going to go into the final edit? Do you shoot more or less?
I should just like, it is nothing more or less. It depends on, I mean, what I'm getting there. If I know, okay, this is enough, and if I feel, oh, it's not enough, so it depends on that. It's scene to scene. If I have confusion, if I'm not getting performance, right kind of performance, then I try probably differently. But if sometimes just one take, it's done. So
So on the set, it is the director that takes the call. It's the director in you that takes the call, right?
yes, yes, director as well as editor, how I'm seeing the film. If they hire a different editor, then also I'm working as an editor on set, because finally, if someone else also editing, he should get the shots, what is required. So I'm working. Yes,
But
yes.
as an Assamese, are you happy with the way Northeast is represented in Bollywood and how its characters are being represented?
No, I'm not happy. But
Hmm.
for that, we need to be practical. I'm coming from that path, and here, if you see, you need to see who I know the struggle here to become an actor, to become a director. It's a lot of struggle, even to become a writer and other technicians. So definitely, if as a director he's coming from North India, he's not making 5 films in a year. So if he's making, so he will think like his way, his style. Only thing is, like, I am disappointed sometimes if you are casting someone from Northeast, and if you are saying a story from Northeast, you just don't, bring those characters or story just, for only commercial or some, like, don't take it so easy, understand, it is not even Northeast. We have diverse culture and language, and it different, so study, do some research, understand the sensibility, emotions of that land. So that is what is lacking, I think. You just don't do it just to for heck of it. Okay, it's a Northeast. Okay, something you're putting, just some shocking elements, and when we see it, we don't relate. Imagine, but also make it a bit relatable, Otherwise, do something like Harry Potter or Avatar kind of movie, then we don't mind. But if you are saying a story, based in Northeast, and you are portraying it, okay, it's this is how they are, they, or then be seriously you do it, that
But
is
is
what
it
I.
important? But is it important for them to cast actors from Northeast, or is it okay if a North Indian actor plays a Northeastern character? Are you okay with that?
That is a very difficult question to answer for me, because most of the films is more like they look at the budget and star
Obvious.
driven, their target audience different. So different producer, different directors. So it is hard to say. But definitely they should, keep windows open At least slowly, like if the main character they think it will better, like it will give that market values, but at least the cast also noticed an
Supporting
actress.
cast. Supporting
Yeah,
cast at least.
just to keep, yes, balance, keep that balance. So that is what I want, because it is hard. I know it is not easy, you know.
So, so
Yes,
are you exceptionally proud that you have been able to place your state on the global stage?
I am. Yes, I am. I feel happy. Yeah. And also, like, that success is not mine alone. So
Right.
we are sharing that success together, and that kind of love and support. Without, like, without them, I feel I'm nothing. So we
Without your
shared success. We shared a success not only with Assam, but also India as a whole, with all independent filmmakers and who are aspiring filmmakers and who keep writing, messaging to me that because of Village of Success, it just broke that stereotype, that they realize that with a small camera, also you can make a movie with small budget, which can travel to many festivals, which can go to Oscar, which can also get best national awards. So that that is the reason I think that is my or our real success.
right. So
Yeah.
on that sweet note, we come to the end of this conversation,
You are
and
very sweet. You are so
all the best.
sweet.
And it was the pleasure talking to you, and we are so looking forward to Village
Thank
Rockstars
you.
Part Two and all your other work. And best
Thank
of luck
you.
for your journey, and hope we have more of these conversations soon. Right.
I'm
Okay.
looking
Okay.
forward to it. Thank you so much. Lovely talking
Thank
to
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.